All right, everyone, what's going on? My name's Captain Crush. You found my channel. I will be known as the king of WNBA by the time this summer's over because I'm going to be taking and breaking them down every single day for you guys, cooking in the pot some green beans and no sides of chalk. That's right, no sides of chalk. Let's get it done. We got 3-piece McNugget today on these games. Minnesota Lynx, Seattle Storm, 2.5-point spread. This should be a great game. Over under 163. New York Liberty, Las Vegas Aces, minus 275 for them Aces. These are probably the two best teams in the league. Throw in Connecticut for the third. Over under 174.5. That's a lot of points for the WNBA. 6.5-point spread. This is our late night hammer. Psych, they're all late night games. Why? Because WNBA, that's why. Lastly, Phoenix, 2.5-point spread, the worst team in the league. Good reason. Indiana's favored by 2.5. Over under 162. What is this nice clean interface app I'm using? It's Outlier Bet, and I'm giving you 37 free days. All you have to do is use promo code CRUSH. If it's not working for you at app.outlier.bet, just email support, tell them code CRUSH. I sent you over. Guess what? They'll make it right. That being said, I want to talk about Sleeper. We're flying through this video today, folks, because I had a late start. I had two back-to-back crush days via MLB, WNBA. Just look at my Twitter. I'm going to make you guys tilt face because of all the retweeting of green beans and winners and bangers and ranger-banger-rang. All of it. It's going on my Twitter. That's my only advert that I do, boys and girls. Right there, my own soldiers' testimonies is the best advertising I can do. I don't pay them to say it. They just are legit winning. That's what we do. Do we win every night? Absolutely not. We don't win every night. I post winners, I post losers, but at the end of the day, when the week is done, we find a way to crush, and that is my goal. That being said, look at this sleeper. I put it right here yesterday via YouTube. I also put a pick 2 on my Twitter, free of charge for everyone. That discount Otani fanny slip, cash it. And look at this 3 right here, a 3-piece McNugget. I'm giving it to you just like McDonald's. Cash it, okay? You need to use Sleeper for MLB. It is the spot for the best lines on MLB. I promise you, no cap comes out of my mouth. Use promo code CRUSH. A lot of people have been cashing in on this, and you better do it soon because once summer's over, so is that promo, all right? So, promo code CRUSH, you get your deposit match, and I'll give you a free 30-day trial because once you're in the Discord, you will want to stay. Ask them boys, they'll tell you. I will have some Sleeper cooked up for Twitter later today for the late night hammer, but for now, we're going right to PrizePicks because I'm running behind, and I got to break this WNBA game down. So here we are, right here, the king of the road, PrizePicks, the #1 in fantasy sports entertainment. They are him. I hate to admit it, but PrizePicks, you already know you guys were first in. That might as well make you last in, boys, because you guys have it. Folks, we live in a very volatile world. We live in a crazy time period right now, 2023. So laws are being passed, lame laws at that. I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that, but I will say this. Alabama users recently had a legislation passed down where you're no longer allowed to do anything besides these combo props, which is why they're coming down the pike. Unfortunately, a good segment of my own community is down there in Alabama, the beautiful, great state of Alabama. I got nothing against it, but those laws are absolute dog water. We should be able to play PrizePicks, any fantasy sports, sports betting, all of it needs to be legalized, or I'm coming for you, fella. It's ridiculous that you can go out there, buy smokes, buy beer, but you can't put a bet on a game at the end of a hard day of work. You come home and you want to sweat the game and throw $5 on it, and you guys are trying to stop them. Take a walk. You're out of touch. Nobody knows who you are, and nobody cares. Best I don't get involved because I'll be taking your seat, fella. Let's move on. I will help you guys in my community, in my Discord community, with some combo props moving forward. I don't have anything today, but I will try on these YouTubes to at least include 2 of them for my Alabama faithful. I will do my best. I don't like those props. They're absolutely cash cows for the house, but I will see what I can do for you guys. I don't have anything today, but I promise I'm going to work on it. All right. Now let's go into the nitty gritty. Jewel Lloyd. Boy, oh boy. Can we say Jewel Lloyd again? 4 for 18 last game, 2 of 7 from the 3-point line. 4 for 18. Did she cash? No. 14 playing the same matchup, okay? She's playing Minnesota again. She's going right back to them. Again, they're on the road. Listen, 23.5 points for anybody is a lot of points, especially somebody that's in the WNBA. But listen, 4 for 18, 2 from 7 from the three-point land? I'm not buying it. It's not normal. I hope she bounces back because guess what? Guess who? Captain Crush. He's taken 23.5 points more. Let me talk to you. Ezi Magabor, 14.5 points. Am I going more? Am I going less? Am I going more? Am I going less? No, I'm not going anywhere near there. I will take Ezi Magabor's fantasy score. 34 fantasy points yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, the days run together. She was at 34.5 or 35 and change. I can't remember. We took more and she cashed for us. Why? Because it was the right move. It was a sweat. It's always a sweat with the WNBA. Let me tell you, it's very rare where you get something that's just a slam dunk and there's no sweat. If you want to go to Ezi Magabor, I like to call her Mag Beggar, if you will. You can take more at 34 fantasy points if you want to fade Jewel Lloyd. Those are my favorite two from Seattle. That's all I got to say about Seattle, okay? Ezi was at 33.5 fantasy points earlier today. If you look at a week ago, she was all the way up to 39. Now we're getting a deflation of 5 points. It's not that great of a line still. I wish it was at 32, 33, but I could make the case for 34. I just did. She's averaging, I think, 1.2 or 1.1 fantasy points per minute. If she gets them blocks and steals, she's going to get this line. That's what it comes down to when we're talking about Ezi Magabor. Now, let's talk about the Minnesota side of things. We got Kayla McBride. I want to point something out real quick about Kayla McBride. Someone was in the PrizePicks Discord the other day, the most toxic place on earth, the opposite of Disney World and Disneyland, and they were talking about how they were putting in their contest Kayla McBride less on her points the other day. What was it? 11 points, 12 points? Absolute dog water of a take, terrible cold take. She was at 11. I said take more. They were saying take less because why? Because the last 5 showed her bad and she's playing. No, wrong. Stop looking at the last 5. It's incorrect. It's bad process. It's not how you do things. It means nothing. So sure enough, Captain Crush over on McBride at 11. Cash it. She got 18. Am I going back to her at 12.5? I'm not sure. I wanted to point it out there. She literally shot 9 3-pointers last game when she just played this matchup. So absolutely 12.5 points is in play. If you're taking less on somebody that's going to walk out onto that court and shoot 9 3-pointers in one game, 9, then you're literally just donating money. Why don't you just Cash App Captain Crush and we'll save us both the heartache and the sweat. Trust me, it'll go to a good place. I'll give it as a giveaway in my community. But if you don't want to take the more here, just fade the prop. Don't take less on someone that's going to shoot 9 3-pointers in a game. It's bad process and it's bad form and it's just ugly, okay? Just fade the prop if you don't like it. If this was at 11, it would probably be my play of the day. It's at 12.5. I'll have some exposure. I'm not really high on her. I just needed to bring that point home that you don't want to be taking unders because of the last 5. That's a foolishness. Let's talk about Napheesa Collier. My oh my, what a sweat she was last game, boys. Everybody was on Napheesa Collier the other way, but not Captain Crush. 21.5 points. She had a 33. She dropped 21 real shot attempts on the field goal. They were probably mostly layups and everything else. 33 points. That's an outlier game. I don't think she's going to do that again. I know she's not going to do that again. She's probably going to get anywhere between 20 to 25. If you want to go more here, you absolutely can. I love her rebound that was at 7.5 this morning when I woke up. I touted it out. My Discord's already got it. 7.5. They bumped it to 8. It's still too low. Okay. We had her at 7. We had her at 8.5 last game and she got 10. I have her projected for 10 again. She's at 8. Listen, it's bumped. I wish it was at 7.5. You could still take more here, but if you want to go look at her points and rebounds, where are you at? Point rebound 30. It was at 29.5. You could take this too. It's not bad. Or if you just want to bypass all that nonsense and go straight to her fantasy score at 41.5, I wouldn't hate that either. But if you're going to do this, I would run it back with Jewel Lloyd's fantasy or her points or Ezi. That way you have a nice little correlated 1v1 stack, and that is a good process and a proper contest. I like the correlation, okay? I'm here to teach you how to build one of these here contests, as the PrizePicks likes you to say it, okay? That's my job here. I don't care about the result one way or the other on one game sample. If it sells, it sells. If it hits, it hits. My job is to give you guys the tools to have a winning process. That's all I care about. So I covered that game with what I want to talk about there, the two I wanted to target. Now I'm going to go down to the Las Vegas Aces, the future champs of the WNBA. Called my shot before the first game tipped off. I said, get your money in on Las Vegas Aces to ship it all, because no one's going to stop that train. There's two teams that have a chance to stop it, Liberty and Connecticut. And Liberty is who they play tonight, and they're still favored by 6.5 points. That's insane. So that just tells you how much better they are than everyone else. Chelsea Gray, 32.5 fantasy points. I'm telling you right now, green bean, dud, green bean. You hate to see it. I wish it was different. But if you want to take Chelsea Gray at more than 32.5 fantasy points, my God in heaven, can you do it? I like more there. I'm not saying it's a lock. It's never a lock. This prop right here is going to be a sweat. Mark my word. It seems too good to be true. It's always too good to be true. Chelsea's either going to show up tonight and she's going to facilitate and score, or she's going to come out there and let Jackie pull all the hard work and she's going to throw up a stinker. Let's hope, for my sake, for your sake, that she's taken more and she decides to come out and crush. I like her. I like her a lot. I like her game. She's well-rounded. She does it all. Scores, facilitates, can grab her rebounds, and she even gets a block and a steal here and there. Avoid the turnovers, Miss Gray, and let's crush. On that same coin, Jonquel Jones, 27.5 fantasy points. This is a little bit too low. Again, I cannot stand looking at these last five and seeing all green. It signals in my brain that the public's going to be on it, and I don't want to be anywhere near you folks. No offense. I ain't trying to be where the public is, because that's the losing side of things in all of life, okay? Always trailblaze your own path. 27.5, it's still a little bit too low. I believe she was at 28 a couple games ago. I took more here. Okay, and it's my run back for Chelsea Gray and Candace Parker and Kelsey Plum, because I targeted all three of these lovely ladies here. I have them not in the same contest. Never take 3 fantasy scores from the same team more. That's bad form. It's bad process. Like I always say, I'm here to teach, and I will teach you that if you do this right here, you're doing it wrong. Take 1, 2 max, 3 is way out of hand. You don't want to do that, okay? You can take them in individual contests, but never in the same. That's just ridiculous, especially when we're not dealing with one game. We don't have a same game parlay. Kelsey Plum, 27 fantasy points. She's due a big game. She's always right around here. I took more here. If you guys want to go less, you're doing it wrong. I think more is the play or fade the prop. That's your two options there. Like I said, let's go back to Jonquel Jones. I hope I'm saying that right, Ms. Jones. Keep up with the Joneses, Captain. You're going crazy. 27.5 fantasy points. Okay, this is my run back, period. I'm running it back with these two. If I don't have Gray, I'll have Plum. If I don't have Plum, I'll go back to the crafty veteran Candace Parker, because when she needs to come through, she does. She had 2 duds on the last one. That game was pretty sure it was blowout sauce. But look, 29, 31, 28. This is a big game for them regardless of the spread. I took Candace Parker, rebounds plus assists. I got it in early. I'm not high on her fantasy score, but I don't hate it, okay? So if you don't want to go with Jonquel Jones and you just want to target the stud, you could go right up here to Brianna Stewart, the wannabe of Luka Doncic of the WNBA, okay? She's got 43.5 fantasy points. She's been teetering and tottering right around that number. Connecticut's a tough matchup. Washington is the toughest matchup. Atlanta, I don't know, went down. Phoenix, they're absolute dog water. And then she played Atlanta again. Her fantasy score a week ago, fam, was at 52 or 53. Now we get her at 43.5. It doesn't matter about anything else. I don't need to tell you any other analysis. All you need to know is that it was at 53. Now it's at 43.5. I got her going for 43 via my model and projects. But guess what? My model doesn't account for everything that the human element does. That's why I'm here in the mix doing this day after day, night after night, week after week, month after month. I'm coming in here, putting the ingredients in the pot, stirring it, cooking it, and serving it up for you guys, my YouTube faithful, all 6,000 of you. Appreciate it. Salute. 43.5 fantasy score. I will take more here. And guess what? If she sells, by God, she sells. I'm getting a discount. If the game stays close, this line's going over 7 out of 10 times. If the game blows out, all bets are off. There's nothing we can do about blowouts, fam. I don't try to predict blowouts. That's foolishness. It's a fool's errand, okay? So I covered that game extensively, except for one lady, Asia Wilson. Let's talk about her. She's coming off of 2 insanely high games, 55 and 49. 44 is still too high. Less is the move here. I'm not taking it. I'm fading the prop. But if you want to take her, less would be the move. Also, Breanna Stewart's rebounds. It's at 9.5. Last time I took more, she hooked me. Captain Hook style. The Las Vegas Aces are giving up the second rebounds allowed, meaning they're not giving up rebounds, folks. They're second in rebounds allowed. I don't know how to explain it to where it makes sense because it's just a word salad. The point is, they don't give up rebounds. There's only one team that gives up less rebounds than the Las Vegas Aces, okay? They're number 2. So that's my thoughts on Breanna Stewart's rebounds. Sorry about that word salad. I'm moving a mile a minute because I got to get this out before 3:30 Central Time. NaLyssa Smith, let's talk about this Phoenix game. Dog water, possible dog water, quasi dog water. I don't know what I'm going to do with Sophie Cunningham. Listen, Diana Taurasi is dealing with an injury, folks. That's what's going on there. She's dealing with injury and age. I'm not going anywhere near her. I'm just fading it. If you want to take a shot on her assists, Morris 4.5, you absolutely could, but it's not for the weak of heart. Trust me, because it's most likely going to sell. NaLyssa Smith, the other side of that coin. I had her at less 14.5 points the other night. It was a sweat, but cash it. Today, 28.5 fantasy points. I like her to go over here. Why? Because she's trending up, and the Phoenix is a dog water matchup. They're absolutely terrible. They're last at everything. So more on NaLyssa Smith isn't bad, but I like somebody more than her, and her name is Aaliyah Boston. 35.5 fantasy points. I don't hate it. I like it more. In fact, I took a stud slip. Jewel Lloyd, Breanna Stewart, Aaliyah Boston, Chelsea Gray, and I forget who the other one is, but I put them all in there and I liked it. Okay, but there is another stat that I like for Miss Boston better than all of it, and same for Sophie Cunningham, and I will go over to that right now. It's rebounds, folks. You guessed it. Aaliyah Boston is a monster in the paint. 8.5 rebounds, more 8.5 rebounds. Look at this. 14 against the Aces. They're the best, second best rebounding team in the league. A 9 against them. Seattle 11. She didn't have too good there, but she's stepping into her role. She's stepping up. 8.5 is too low. Give me more or give me sell. I will take more here, and if it sells, by God, it sells. I'm fine with it, okay? 8.5 more is what I like. And then Brittany Griner. My whole Discord community was chirping about Brittany Griner. Cap. Like, my little birds, I love you guys. 6.5. She's been deflated down to 6. Why? Because all the money saw this right here. Oh, look at all those red beans when it was at 6.5. Look at all that red chalk right there. It's crazy. Red pepper. We got green beans, and if you're chalking, we got red peppers because the captain cannot stand red peppers. Ask my woman. I hate them. I pick them out of everything. Okay. So red pepper Brittany Griner. Okay. At 6.5. If you put it down to 6, she had 2 pushes. The public saw this and they hammered the under. Obviously, that's what always happens. Is 6.5 less a decent play? I broke it down. I went into all the analytics. I said it was a decent play. But whenever I see this, all the red pepper, it makes me want to go the other way just by default because that's how my brain's programmed. It tells me she's due a game where she's going to explode. I hope it's not versus Indiana where Boston's going to be in the paint, but I could see Griner getting more than 6 rebounds. For that reason, I wouldn't take it here, but on Underdog, she's still at 6.5, and you can take less over there because she's going to need 7 to beat you. Always shop around for the lines, folks. That's what I preach. That's what I do. And then Sabrina Ionescu, less than 5 rebounds. She was at 5.5. It's now at 5, unfortunately. I got her in at 5.5. I can't recommend taking less here at 5. If you want to, you can. It's still in play. Hopefully you can find it somewhere at 5.5. And Jonquel Jones was at 7.5. She's been bumped up to 8, but I took her fantasy score. The public saw this. Obviously, they're going to take over and they moved the line. That's how that stuff goes. If the line moved, it doesn't mean you made a bad play. It just means that the money's reacting. Case in point, Sabali 2 nights ago. My play of the day, she was at 9.5 rebounds. Everyone took her under. I took her over at 9.5. They moved it down to 9, and my whole community panicked. Captain, you made a wrong play. You're crazy. You took I predicted it was going to move to 9. I told y'all to wait. I said it's going to move to 9. Take it over at 9. I had enough confidence in it to take it at 9.5. She got 12. I didn't even have to sweat it. Cash my play of the day. Sometimes, not every night, but sometimes my gut is just dead on. I call it crush intuition. Some people got it. Some people don't. It's that simple. So now now, I've pretty much covered everything that I want to cover via these WNBA games. I hope you guys had a little bit of a feel for what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'll cook up one little thing real quick via the fantasy score, the stud slip that I said. Collier, Lloyd, Boston. This would be a stud slip you could roll with right here, and it correlates mighty fine. Collier, Lloyd, Boston, Stewart, and Chelsea Gray. Take mores on all of those. I wouldn't hate that if you want to ride with the fantasy scores. It could be more season today. Usually it's under season, folks, but looks like today could be more. Stop the count. There's one more thing that I need to talk about, and that is Sophie Cunningham, the darling, the sweetheart of the NBA, Sophie Cunningham. Look at Sophie Cunningham. Who doesn't love themselves some Sophie Cunningham? Look at those platinum blonde locks. What's not to like about Sophie Cunningham? I'll tell you what's not to like about it. The fact that she comes on the court and she sells all the time, folks. She sells for a living and she makes me pay the price. Her line at Underdog, 12.5. I took more. It's 13 over here on PrizePicks. She's due a good game. Look at this. Last game, she put up 3 points. That ain't normal, Chief. She should be bouncing back. I don't know if she's going to get 13. Maybe she can get 13. I like more here. But guess what? If you can get it on Underdog, you should. And that being said, we are going to segue into Underdog right now. And here it is, folks. The Underdog faithful. I never forget about you guys. This is what I got cooked up for Underdog for you. Candace Parker, higher than 9 rebounds plus assists. Nafisa Collier, more 30 points plus rebounds. They bumped her rebounds here quickly, so I just went with that. Look, Brittany Griner, lower than 6.5 rebounds. Sophie Cunningham, higher than 12.5 points. These two are value town right here compared to PrizePicks. And last, Jewel Lloyd, higher than 23.5 real points. If she sells me, she sells me. I threw 20 on it. If it hits, I get 200. If I hit 4, I get 50. I never, ever bet big after a winning day. And yesterday, my oh my, it was a winning day, folks. Check this out and check that out. 5 of 5. I made this in my Discord yesterday, right before the game locked. I made this over there. This is the truth. I made this live, posted it out. A lot of my soldiers got this. 5, 5, 10x. Look at this. Whenever I put in a pick 5, it triggers my free entry. Unfortunately, I have to put in the 5, cancel it, and then go back and put in a 5 because I'm saving my free entry. And this would have hit for 5K. Talk about tears. I went all the way to McDonald's yesterday and gorged on chicken McNuggets to wipe my tears. Instead of a $5,000 win, it was a $200 win. So I cost myself $4,800 by clicking that cancel button. But you know what? It happens. The point still remains, folks. I'm saving it till I feel confident. My most confident, I should say. I'm always confident in what I put out, but that's the point. Also, use promo code CRUSH right here on Underdog, and you can get a 30-day free trial into that Discord. All you have to do is use promo code CRUSH and then DM me that you made it in, and I will let you in there for 30 days free, where you can be a part of my Discord live streams that are worth the price of admission. I promise you, if you're in there, you literally just made 10x. The min bet's 5. You doubled the cost of your membership yesterday in one swoop. So there's no excuses. If you want to get better at this, I'm teaching you. I'm doing it in my Discord. Just ask those people. I'm not here to sell you on anything. If you don't want to be a part of it, that's on you. Now we will go to the end of the video here, folks. You made it. All right. I appreciate it. If you're new here, I'm thankful for watching my stuff, listening to me ramble about friggin' WNBA. I know it can be boring. I try to make it entertaining. My goal is to teach and to entertain. And if I can do both of them, then by God, I did my job. I appreciate it again. Let's crush tonight. And as always, I will be bringing these every single day that I can. Today I had a late start. Remember, I make content for my Discord community first. I do my live stages over there every single day, but my YouTube is my priority. So that being said, we got a lot of work to do tonight. Let's hope that all of our slips are live. Again, good luck, and as always, let's crush.